play, it's going to be Cuckoo. Like, he has to position himself so carefully, he has to time his global so perfectly, and there's potential for him to bring this game back, but it comes at great risk.
All right, well, early on, T-Bird's going to be found out now. The Poison Touch, the Impale, but immediately a Photic Shield. It takes everything off, and then Misery just walks away.
Yeah, so that's one of those things where you get a lot of good spells out against somebody, but they're just debuffs, and you can make them pretty irrelevant here. So overall, they'll take at least an aggressive stance here on the bounty runes. It looks like they'll get 3 bounty runes to start for TNC, which is nice, but at the same time, they're not really going to get much more than that.
And maybe a little bit of an aggressive lane coming out also in response to the, Spectre, a relatively weak laning hero. They're going to answer with the Naga Siren resolution going up against it. So very interesting response. Do you like this choice by TNC? As it looks like they were not quite able to get that bounty rune, and now Raven actually might be in a little bit of trouble trying to hide in the trees here and get away. It's going to be able to make that escape, but Resolution still going for the chase. Already going to have to pop that salve. Yeah,
so obviously it's just going to be a 2 for 2 on the bounty runes as a result of all that, and yeah, it's just going to be a pure backup from the Spectre here, having to pop an early salve. So it's going to be a bloodbath up here. And I think one big problem is Rior went for the Poison Touch, which is great for a 3v1 laning situation, but really weak when you're contested so heavily. So it depends on where the Monkey King goes, of course, but at least for right now, I do feel like Raven's farm is going to be suppressed.
Okay. Yeah, and you take a look at the other lanes. Abba versus Nick shouldn't be anything too significant to write home about there. Mid lane, it does look like Cuckoo was getting a little bit of help from his Ogre, but now maybe in some trouble with the Monkey King. Potential to pop over as well. Cuckoo just might go down solo to Weeha on the Wind Ranger. Cuckoo far too aggressive.
Yeah, and you just can't afford an early start like that. I mean, obviously, like, there's this back and forth that you're kind of paying attention to between the supports where you're like, okay, well, let's think about if I need to lend my hand to that. It can be very distracting, but no, you can't give up a level 1 First Blood against Windrun. It's just really ugly and a bad way to start the game. It's a pretty obvious statement, but at the end of the day, like Silencer, he's not going to be coming back until level 6 at the earliest, and in the meantime, we're going to see Weeha just do whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah, and it's not as if you can necessarily, like, bring in the rest of the heroes, because you're getting aggro tri-laned right now as Raven. Like, he has to be able to get his farm on. You mentioned how important those levels are, and I guess the hope here now, if you're PNC, is that you can get away without too many deaths on Cuckoo and then eventually come back into it by virtue of fighting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea for sure. They have a really solid team fight lineup. They just need to get heroes at the right place at the right time. But yeah, right now, I mean, Moomeander gets to play like a safe lane solo Abba against the Sam H Nyx and just gets to kind of do his own thing. And in the meantime, yeah, this Spectre is going to continue to feel some limitations. He's going to have to keep on chewing through regen. And I just feel like with that in mind, the cores for TNC are going to have a pretty bad start.
Okay. If we're looking for ways to, like, outplay the opponents, maybe trying to bait somebody into, a bad spell, is there the chance that, like, Raven, Rior, and the Slardar can find kills in this lane if somebody oversteps a little bit? T-Birds, or...
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, they have some really good potential just when the heroes hit level 3. A couple points in Slithering Crush, a couple points in Shadow Wave. A misstep could absolutely be costly for Thunderbirds, but I'm pretty sure they're confident enough in their play that they should just be able to isolate targets without clipping up with the creep wave, which is where Dazzle is strongest.
And also mentioning the regen that you've got here, Rior completely out of any HP regen. Raven has 2 tangos.
Nice little shackle play, but it is only level 1. But, I mean, I'm just showing him who is possible. He has the plenty of mana to spare, and even canceling up the salve, which means Cuckoo now has nothing left in terms of sustain.
This is a rough one. This is a very tough game right now for TNC, and every little right click coming in from Wind Ranger is just, you're feeling the burn. So get through the laning stage with as little bleeding as possible. Eventually try and make some rotations where you get some type of a kill. It looks like Tim's is actually going to try and make the play to help out Cuckoo a little bit.
I mean, it's definitely what he's been trying to do since the game began, but with the smoke, they actually might be able to make it work. They need Tim's to lead for sure. Rior cannot start the fight with just a level 1 poison touch, but if they can get a good position here, then with the Sardar in front, then it still might be a decent kill. But looks like Weehaw is going to be going for the bottom room. This is actually a perfect setup and almost a guaranteed kill.
Nicely done here. The crush is going to connect, and now Weehaw is going to be silenced. They find the kill. It was really good play also by Raven throughout all of that. He was playing like there were supports behind him, and he wasn't afraid. The Monkey King scattered out, and that might have hid the fact that they were rotating towards mid.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely did not see that, or he wouldn't have gone for System Exposed Rune, and it ends up working out very well with a key kill the other way around, and a nice +2 for the silencer. So
and bottom lane,
they're going to get a jump down bottom, and the Aphotic Shield is just off cooldown.
It was a really good play there by Tims. They were able to set it up with a stun immediately as the Aphotic Shield wore off, so they still got the full damage out. They couldn't quite get the spiked Carapace to pop as the shield popped, but it was still a good play.
Damn. This game could stretch out quite a bit here. As obviously, we talked about how slow Spectre is, but Naga Siren isn't the fastest paced hero either. Even if she has a really good start, as you see with the CS, it's still going to be quite a long time before TNC really feel the impact of that. Once that comes out, once there's the Radiance of the Manta, you realize very quickly that there is all that damage. But, oh, nice little combo there for Sam H. Carapace has the Aphotic Shield, and they're going to be able to go for the 3v1.
Nicely done with the heal bomb to finish it off. And that was what I was talking about earlier. They tried to go for that play. They didn't need it to kill him off before, but now they find a second kill. So TNC, despite the early lows in CS, are finding kills, and Raven is honestly having an okay time down here, although, again, being pressured heavily.
For sure. But all the same, these are critical kills for TNC to try to kind of bring their way back. Their mid and their safe laners are going to be underfarmed. They know that already. But if they can build a lot of momentum on Sam H's Nyx, this is a player who has been able to carry the team on his shoulders time and time again. Just being able to be an extremely aggressive initiator and just make the fights happen where they need them to. So I think that although they really are in a sore spot with the Spectre, they might be setting themselves up for a way to bounce back if they can get Nyx online.
And Tim's back here to provide a little bit more cover for that Spectre to farm. It's definitely what they need, but you can see already Naga Siren 50 last hits in 9 minutes, and they need to make something happen. And it looks like Tim H has decided the same as he is moving into this off lane, or rather safe lane, to mess with Resolution a little bit. Going in for it, but look at this recognition. They see what's happening. They're going to bring the Resolution Naga Siren back and also keep Weehaw close to the tower as well, because they don't know where this Nyx is, but covering all their bases.
Yeah, pretty close to the shrine here, so even with the jump, I think he actually might be okay. We'll see. Maybe initiation here, if it's now or never, and they need to follow up from Tim.
Yeah, this is going to be an easy kill onto Soxa, so they get something from it. And even going to get a little bit of chip damage here onto Resolution as well before they head back on their merry little way.
In the meantime, Rior's going to be sitting here just soaking up bottom, so going to have your cake and eat it too here. The Dazzle's going to find some key levels, and Dazzle's definitely a hero that can benefit from it. Like, a lot of times people just look at him at face value as a support hero that needs the least, but at the end of the day, if you hit a good like level 9 timing on Dazzle and you have like all your spells to work with, you're going to actually be feeling pretty good. But he'll make his rotation back towards the Dire Shrine up top and try to see what he can do towards the mid.
All right. Sam H still remaining active. He has another round of Vendetta, and Resolution very far forward here is most likely going to drop to this as Tim's is rotating his... Oh, they missed the Impale though. Oh, and that's going to mean Resolution gets out. So Sam H a little bit off the mark with that one. It's not easy to hit it though, particularly on a relatively high movement speed hero like Naga.
Yep, smoke play going to come out from mid though. Soxa Misery trying to see what they can do to this silencer who does not have the global available and walks right into the spring.
In trouble. There's the connect field laid down. He actually turns to try and fight onto Weehaw, but it knew he was dead at that point.
Yeah, tough spot to be in, but at least he has his global now. He can definitely pop that at any point in time with the full mana pool that he's going to be responding with. And I do think that, again, if they're going to be bringing this game back, it's going to be based off of that cooldown and using it very actively.
And you can look at this down bottom. Moon got his ulti triggered as well. We do have level 6 on Spectre, so if there was some movement down here towards the bottom, there's a chance they could punish this cooldown on Moon, but they would have to make a concerted effort with the Nyx Assassin most likely.
In the meantime, Misery still just being a nuisance up here, just bouncing around, looking for an opportunity. But Raven,
they are going for it. They're going for it down bottom. Sam H is here, and this should be a kill if they can get it right. There's gonna. Oh no! The kinetic field. It catches him. Sam H. He's gonna be controlled for the moment, and now Moon able to make that getaway. They're diving deep for this one, but they have to call off the charge. Great saving play right there by Soxa. I don't even know if they necessarily knew that Sam H was in there. They did with that Sentry Ward. Really good play.
And there you go. I mean, the fact is the Haunt is wasted. They're gonna go for the dagger play, and it's not gonna be anything effective. Stims has to sprint a long way here to get down Soxa, and it looks like they will take him up, but there's going to be some flank coming in with Weehawk. Can they bring anybody else in, though? They need the Monkey King, whose TP is on cooldown for another 13 seconds. So while they might be able to get the jump up top, the fight down bottom is over.
And Rior will be dove here for this one. Does have the Grave TP, but no net skill. They think about actually going to pop the Song of the Siren. It's a hell of a lot of hate shown to the support. It is going to be killed off.
Guarantees the tower, gets the dazzle down, and I think it's worthwhile for sure. And while it is a pretty long cooldown, you also know that Haunt is still going to be on cooldown for quite a while too. So I don't think that they're too worried about it. They don't intend to use the song for much more than an escape at this point in time. So yeah, nice little pickup there.
Oh,
and,
mid lane. Yeah, Weehaw's going to end up falling here. They drop the global for this one. Crush to follow, and a little bit of -2 action into the favor of Cuckoo.
Looks like they're trying to set up for something here, just kind of bouncing around at the moment. But with the global down, with the Haunt down, this is a window where TNC cannot play aggressively. They know that they have to realize that they cannot actually take a fight, even at a numbers advantage, because there's going to be too many heroes responding too quickly from the side of Thunderbirds, and then of course they just won't have the ultimate cooldowns they need.
And we did just see right there the Nyx Assassin stalking the courier, wasn't able to get it. Mid lane, Cuckoo going to be pulled back in yet again. The Shackle is going to connect, and unfortunately, that was not the Dazzle coming in. I wasn't able to get a Grave off, so they do lose Cuckoo. And right now, it's looking like T-Birds in the lead, about 2,000 net worth with roughly 7,500 experience. Last game, it was T-Birds that ended up pulling ahead with a stronger late game lineup. Do you think that in this game, T-Birds still have the stronger late game lineup?
I mean, it's actually extremely difficult to call. It really comes down to what Cuckoo gets in the next 20, 30 minutes of the game. Spectre still is a hero that can take it to the late game really effectively, even against items such as Silver Edge, but I mean, you are up against some pretty difficult heroes and some good combos in the Naga plus Disruptor. But I really can't just at face value say one team has a better late game or not. It comes down to execution. But right now, I just feel like Thunderbirds are in have a better chance of getting into that late game position with forward momentum.
Okay. Sam H does show up here again as spotting out Resolution. If there was a way to turn it back around, it would certainly be by Sam H accelerating through kills. Whether that's going to happen is a completely different story. And in the meantime, T-Bird's just going to mount the pressure onto the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. And TNC can't afford to let this fall. Unfortunately, Sam H is not really in a position to make this stop happening. But with the amp damage there onto Weehaw, and then immediately going to be taken off, that should spell the end of the aggression, at least for now. Although, Sam H is going to get gone on. Glimpse. Yeah.
Big pickup.
That should be the end of it. So, Global drop. They actually decide to go in on this. They pop the Haunt. Grave comes out to keep Sam H alive, and they turn a fight. Maybe going to be able to take down Misery. Just when you think TNC are going to back up, and T-Birds think they have it in the bag. TNC show up for this fight, and now going to chase even further for another kill. They don't quite catch the Shackle, and now Tim shows up. Crush connects onto 2. The Impale from the low ground. Sam H, they thought he took him out before, but 3 dead, and Soxa is going to not quite fall himself. Oh my God. The battle in the river.
Absolutely. Very good commitment there. Again, the power of these global abilities, the Haunt and the Silence, allows you to take fights where the enemy doesn't expect you to. And I do think that while they are long cooldown, they are extremely valuable. And yet Misery is going to try to at least defend the tower with the ultimate here. Just pushing Raven back and making it impossible for them to really get any critical damage out of the kill. Still getting 10 intelligence buffed up for the Silencer, as well as a 9-4 kill lead, and bringing net worth and experience back to where they want it to be. I think the TNC are very happy with how they went, and they just have to wait for 70 seconds to do it again.
I mean, the unfortunate part is that this is still Naga Siren farming completely free and has the relic completed, just a little under 1,000 gold away from finishing off the Radiance. I mean, at this early stage, that is terrifying. Do you think that it's something where we see T-Birds get aggressive with the Radiance right away and try and counter the aggression of TNC, or do you think they're going to play it more passively?
Yeah, I mean, that's not really how Naga Siren likes to use Radiance. She really, as soon as she gets it, she starts just spreading the illusions around, pushing out the creep waves, and farming up the jungle really efficiently. It's much more about getting to that second, third, fourth item extremely quickly, as well as making it so that there's no potential push coming in from the enemy side because of where the creep waves are at. So I don't think they're going to be like trying to break down a tier 2 or something once they have that Radiance. It's much more coming online in a big way and allowing Thunderbirds to have full confidence of the map.
And the Naga Siren is going to be answered by Hand of Midas's all around. Weehaw also picks up one for his Wind Ranger. And obviously going for that level 10 4 mana regen talent. That thing, I feel like since it's come out, when people, that's been one of the reasons why Wind Ranger is coming back in such style, is just because of that talent and how much you can spam out power shots.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. The amount of just raw mana and the fact that you don't have to buy any specific mana regen items in order to allow that hero to keep going. Like, it's actually pretty insane. I mean, I just like imagine if Lina had a talent like that or something, just not having to buy up all of these specific intelligence-based items and just being able to go for right-click, which is what Wind Ranger wants to do. Like, she'll go for the Midas for now, but she's looking for like this Mjolnir, Blink, and later Aghanim's build-up that will allow her to just keep some really heavy damage coming out from the right clicks.
So this is the interesting little situation now. They're getting in a position where they're farming aggressively, taking down the tower with the Naga Siren illusions to cut the creep wave, but TNC, realizing they might be a little bit vulnerable right now, they're going to go immediately on to Soxa, take him down at the start of the fight. Now Raven going to haunt in, looking further forward, able to catch Moonmeander with that stun. Now Resolution in a lot of trouble. This is going to be a complete and total catastrophe. 3 already about to fall, but can they actually turn it back around now? All right, Misery takes down Rior, now looking for more. Sam H in a little bit of trouble here, but he does get the Spike Carapace off, and the 3-person impale. Holy shit, Weehaw is going to drop, and maybe even Misery as well. Can they connect with the kill? They take down an ultra kill for Raven at 16 minutes, and that was not at all the fight that Thunderbirds wanted.
Sam H is actually a god among men. The amount of awesome carapaces he's shown in this game are already staggering, but specifically that one there, this would not have been a fight. This would have been a pickoff on a disruptor. And right in the middle of the cast animation for Song of the Siren, in the tree line, Resolution's Radiance triggers Sam H's carapace. Then he gets silenced, he gets comboed, and he gets killed off, and it turns into a bloodbath, an absolute bloodbath. And it just comes to show that these tiny little interactions, like using the carapace on a Radiance, will allow you to do some incredible things, and they're not done yet. They have exhausted Haunt and Global, but if they find just a pick instead of a 5-on-5, because they have the tools to initiate like the Blink Dagger on Tim, they're still going to be able to find the kill they're looking for.
And now they're moving into Roshan. They know that all of these ultis are on cooldown, but the problem is that Spectre still has that radiance. They're walking in with the Spike Carapace. A good counter initiation play comes in. Another impale onto 2. Rezo in trouble, almost gonna drop. He's getting hit by Roshan as well, but Sam H dropping solo is gonna die at the start of this fight. Tim's going forward. He gets shackled by Weehaw. Oh, and the Song of the Siren now to split everything up and to get themselves reset for another go. They don't have global on TNC. Can they kill off any of these heroes? Cuckoo getting great, but Raven, he's taken down Weehaw, or rather Resolution. Cuckoo almost dead in this one, but able to walk away. They don't quite have enough damage to kill him off. Misery is still looking, and he is going to be able to go down. Finds that kill, but it might come at the cost of his own life. Still well worth it for them. Weehaw trying to run away now. They have the earn charges. They have all the damage in the world. Moonmeander's ulti is already popped. And TNC taking that fight in beautiful fashion.
Yeah, without globals and without a Radiance. And now they'll pop the Haunt. They'll try to get a little bit more out of this. Weehaw should be able to win run away, but the Ava will fall, setting up a triple kill for Raven in the end of it. A fight that could have been considered disadvantaged, but through just really good movement, really good spreading of their heroes. So they only got 2 caught in the Static Storm, and a very nice Shallow Grave from Rior. They're able to extend the fight out an extremely long period of time, to the point that Thunderbirds, while they do get a couple of kills, this devolves into a skirmish that favors TNC. More silencer intelligence, that up to 20, and just as a whole, like, massive momentum for Raven. Somebody that was shut down so hard in the laning phase, now still at the 19-minute mark only has 83 CS as the hard carry, is finding himself at second in net worth and looking really good.
I mean, 10-0-2 at this point in the game. He had an ultra kill at that early 60 minutes of arc. Gets another triple here just a second ago. They have found Tim's T-Birds in the jungle, so the Slardar will fall, but Raven and TNC have really pulled themselves into a strong-looking game right now. Rior, they're going to pop the Shrine, trying to keep him alive, but it's not going to be enough. And they got the global silence now. Resolution going to die again. We talked about the need to get into more items for this hero, but he's just been trying to take the fight consistently. He keeps on dying now. Good not counsel of that right-click from Moon so that the Spike Carapace doesn't connect onto him. And now they're going to be able to pull back in onto Sam H, trying to find that kill. They jump forward. The Monkey King, Misery, trying to find that kill. Cuckoo is going to drop. We've just had consistently these ridiculously extensive battles. Now Raven trying to go back in for another kill. Tim's is respawned. Raven almost dead here, is going to end up falling. And finally, TNC might have dove too deep. Blink Dagger's being canceled. They don't quite connect with the Shackle. They re-go on the Weave. They're looking to fight constantly.
Yeah, these are ridiculous exchanges, just going back and forth very quickly, based just solely on skill usage. I mean, some great chakra shots coming out there, and some also really solid boundless strikes for Misery. They have some good AoE control, is the bottom line, and I feel like in that fight they're actually able to take advantage of it. And while a couple of heroes did drop pretty quickly, like when they popped the global, we did see Rezo drop down fast. The Spectre was also pretty squishy at this stage, and she was able to be dropped down, which I feel is even more important. Naga already in a pretty happy position, moving rapidly towards Manta style. The Spectre, she now needs to look for haunt kills. Like, she can't just say, okay, I can farm things, because she's actually going to farm a lot slower than the Naga. It's actually the Spectre who's forced into an aggressive position at the 21-minute mark.
Well, the plus side is that they are going to be able to at least begin to build up those kills, as Misery will be found in the jungle, and Raven secures that kill. And we talked about the need for Sam H to go off in this game. Already Midas done and in hand on top of Arcane Boots, 1,400 gold in the bank. Could go back for that blink. But we still haven't had a great answer for Weeha yet. Do you think maybe Diffusal Blade might be a look for Spectre in the future after finishing off that Manta style?
Yeah, Diffusal Blade's pretty interesting because it does now dispel Windrun, which was a property that didn't exist before. So the fact is, if you're going to be getting an item that's already good on Spectre, oh, too much damage.
Oh.
But yeah, if you're going to get an item that was already amazing on Spectre, thanks to the amount of damage that the illusions put out with it, getting that with the ability to dispel some key buffs is also really, really beneficial.
Yeah. It would be quite good. And I mean, is there anything else that's really great to dispel this game? I guess that's just the main thing.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's really nice. Obviously, like, you're still focused on a lot of the other heroes first. Like, the Monkey King could be a real threat, as we see him going right onto the Dazzle here with the help of Static Storm. And the Shackle onto Cuckoo, not going to latch, but still putting out a hell of a lot of damage onto him.
The problem, though, is that you do have the wraparound from the other side. Sam H is already here. They dropped the global, and now Weeha, no chance to get away from this one. It does look like they're going to be able to walk away, though. Raven not wanting to dive too deep for that. So TNC, they keep alive Cuckoo at the very least.
Yeah, so both mids surviving through that, very important. But end of the day, I feel like this Roshan pit is going to be a DMZ pretty soon. Like, they can't keep fighting around it. They can't keep on testing it because they know that one way or the other side is going to be right on top of it. So, yeah, right now, I do think that TNC are in a position to continue to claw their way back. But as you can still see on the net worth, it's Thunderbirds that have been prevailing for the most part. I think it comes down to, like, the surprise factor and the amount of spacing. Like, when TNC was able to kind of just make the jump of the Roche pit, and Thunderbirds were clearly not prepared and clearly not set up for it. But now, like, the last couple of fights, Thunderbirds have known exactly where their opponents are, what they need to do to make the fights work, and we see kind of seeing it edging the other way. So adding in factors like the Sam H Blink Dagger, these are going to be keys to really continue to surmount that element of surprise and that extra burst and extra oomph they need.
The one thing I do like is that you've got this Cuckoo Shadow Blade that's going to be coming out, and he does have enough gold for it now to be completed. Because now you have two separate sources of initiation that can come out. Either A, the Silencer finding a pick off with the Shadow Blade, or B, Sam H being the one to find somebody. The downside is that you do have all of these sentry wards that are already down because there's a Nyx in the game. So do you like the choice? Do you think it's going to allow TNC to find those avenues of initiation?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be creating some unique properties here as far as like just getting into the fight. Going right on the target that he wants to, and kind of closing some gaps here and there.
Ooh.
Oh, we just get Haunt.
Yeah, they're looking for Misery, but guess what? He moves pretty damn quickly, and that is Haunt down and wasted, and now not a real great way to take this fight. I guess the other thing...
to get the tree dance off before the damage came out, because obviously it works still like Blink Dagger, where like you take any instance of damage, you can't jump away, but he was fine, and actually now popping the or yeah, Abaddon in a little bit of a weird spot, but I don't know. That's going back to like what we were talking about before that. It feels like TNC are finding newer ways to put in some big hurt, either by just kind of ganking and surprising, initiating with Invis, initiating with Blink. Like they have ways for these fights to happen more and more, and Thunderbirds can't account for everything, you know?
Yeah. Ooh. Smoking a break on Moon Meander, and they find that initiation right at the start. No ulti for him this time. Cuckoo in some trouble.
Oh, nice
they get the Static Storm off. It isn't going to be enough, though. The Global Silence comes out, still caught in it. Sam H in trouble. They're chasing down Soxa, trying to bring him low, but they have been able to get that Wukong's command off. So much damage coming out, and Raven, I don't know if you really want to stick around here any longer. Rio is going to drop in just a second to that Naga Siren. A double kill for him. But with that Song of the Siren coming in from the south, Raven, you need to be careful. He's still chasing Weehaw here, not afraid to man up against him. All behind their base. Tim's making the plays and almost able to kill off Weehaw. They thought about diving that one for half a second, and Raven now going to just barely be able to get back home at net. Coming closest to him.
Man, these have been some ridiculous fights, to be sure. It's been honestly on Sam H and Tims to make these big crushes happen. The global, the timing, like I said, from Cuckoo has to be about perfect. He was a little slow on that one, but Tims gives them a little bit more time to work with the crush. So they're still able to make that fight pretty profitable for them as a whole. Unfortunately, Silencer doesn't get as much int out of it, but the Spectre was able to clean it up, really. Just a lot of magical damage coming out. There is no like mechanism or pipe on the side of the Thunderbirds, so they really aren't able to deal with this as much as they like to. There's obviously like a lot of Midas action, there's the Vladimirs, but yeah, they just actually don't have the pipes.
Oh, and now a little bit unfortunate yet again. They pop into this one and try and find the initiation on the Sam H, but unfortunately Haunt does a hell of a lot of damage, and now Misery might be the one that goes down, catching him right on the tip there with that Impale, manages to get the Midas off, but will not be denied to the creeps. The Manta style done for the Spectre, and that is a hell of a lot of damage that comes out. Resolution, amp damage up. They need to take it off immediately. They are going to be able to do that. Tim's now going to be in a little bit of trouble. Does have another stun in a second. Amp damage there on to Moon, and Tim's is going to be able to walk away from that one. Those Naga Siren illusions not bringing him down as of yet, although Sam H barely able to walk away. He gets the Spike Carapace off, turning now to fight onto Resolution. The Impale off the mark there, but still he lives.
Maybe
and now Moon
down. The Abba has one more spell to offer. Is it gonna be enough? Oh, he's dropping so low. But
they even get that extra movement speed there. They try and get within the range. Can they get there? Spike Carapace, the damage is not quite enough.
They wanted it so bad. It just comes down to one missed stun from the Nyx Assassin and just a tiny bit of mana left in the tank of the Abaddon. Gets Resolution out of there and gets them the Nyx in exchange.
Me oh my oh man, this game has been pretty much everything. What is this now? 44 kills in roughly 28 minutes? Let's try and gain a little bit of context now. How do you feel like the state of the game is going? Do you feel like it's favoring one particular team? There's a lot of towers missing right now for TNC.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like overall the biggest thing is they've been preventing these Roshan attempts. I feel like Thunderbirds really wanted to be cycling the Roshan pretty early, getting the first kill out so they can get the second Rosh and try to maybe break some big towers based off of that, even if the first one wasn't of high impact. But like, no, wait, we're seeing the Roshan just kind of stand its ground this entire time. Even though, you know, there's amp damage, there's focus fire on two different sides of the field, it's neither one is really able to take it. And I think that's really important for TNC to keep contesting the open areas like around the Roshan pit and to keep using their ultimates to start building momentum in the fights. Beyond that, obviously Cuckoo is now starting to really get some items. I mean, he's got the Silver Edge fully set up for himself along with that Midas, but I think TNC are going to be happy for now, to kind of conclude, but I do think that when the BKBs come out, it can't change.
And now Moon, in some trouble, is going to drop there. Did not manage to get the proc off.
Oh my
God. They got
God.
it for Cuckoo. Well played there to break that on him, so the ult cast didn't happen automatically, but now Raven stuck in the middle of all of it. They do still have the Grave available for Rior, which is going to keep him alive after the fact, but they've taken down the Monkey King, so now no more Wukong's command. It gets the Manta dodge out of the kinetic field. Cuckoo is going to drop there to the power shot, but these very nicely done plays by TNC comboed together to make sure that Abba dies in spite of that ulti.
Yeah, that's so cool. So for those that don't understand why the Abaddon ult didn't just happen there, the Abaddon can only cast his ult if he's like stunned or obviously in normal circumstances, but if he's silenced, he's not able to activate it manually. In addition, when the Silver Edge effect is on you, it breaks the passive effect where it activates automatically. So with both of those taken out of the picture, he's not able to ult, he just goes down without a second thought. And from there, they just were able to pretty well clean up the fight, take the first Roshan of this game. So I do think that maybe Cuckoo got a little overzealous off of that, trying to finish off Wind Ranger one hit from death. But yeah, it is going to still be a very nice play from TNC and showcasing that the Abaddon can no longer play like the offline Abaddon that gets in your face. He has to play much more like the support one that plays it back, because he's very, very fragile when the silencer focuses him like that.
So again, it's feeling like the draft is starting to work out, and I feel like there's going to be this incredibly strong timing with that diffusal blade done for Raven. Now on top of having the Manta style, the Radiance, and an Aegis underhand, where they can start running down these towers at least a little bit. Like, Weeha has been one of the sort of bright spots in this game, and if you can just blow him up at the start of the fight, being able to diffusal blade off the win run, how do T-Birds respond to that?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's really tough. I think that maybe you just have to kind of build yourself up a perimeter, like get a farm safe space where you can consider.
Oh God, I don't know if he's going to be in a safe space any longer. Although they were able to make that escape. Now they crushed though. Cuckoo found him, as did Tim's, and now Moon in a lot of trouble. This is looking from bad to worse. Moon Meander going to fall. 2 of the cores brought down for Thunderbirds, and they're getting ready to start assaulting the rest of these buildings.
Yeah, they just clear it out, no problem at all. Just use the haunt to scout everything out, and from there keep using the blinks to follow through. And that's one thing that, I mean, Thunderbirds just don't have. They have one dagger on Wind Ranger, but otherwise they're pretty immobile. They're trying to counter-initiate as best they can, but it feels like TNC have so much going for them right here in mid. They're going to bring down the Disruptor, and from there, they're actually going to be able to take the tier 2 mid.
This is a huge problem. There's no buybacks on any of these heroes either. So if they wanted to even think about testing high ground a little bit, they could. I don't think that they certainly need to. Might instead just go for a tier 2 in the top, or trying to defend their own tier 2 in the top lane.
Yeah, you can just backdoor tier 1 on top. I think that's fine. But they're just actually fully pulling back. They got what they came for. That's what's important. And these fights continue to just build more and more momentum for Thunderbirds. I really thought that this game would just kind of stalemate out until the Wind Ranger found her BKB, and then you could see how effective BKB is against the Spectre and the Silencer, but no, he had no such time to build it up, and we just see TNC continuing to dominate. They are going to be the first team to pick up the gem, not the team with the Abaddon, and yeah, they're going to have a lot of good control for the map at this point in time.
This is quite strong showing already from TNC, and T-Birds needing to find a way to get back into it. Again, they do have 4 Midases and a Naga Siren on their team. So if you hold that high ground long enough, it's going to be good for you. But I just do feel like it's hard to do that when a Spectre gets into these items this early.
Yeah, I mean, she's moved towards Butterfly for crying out loud. Like, she's got Diffusal 1, which she's using very actively. You've got Manta Style, you've got Radiance, but moving in towards this Butterfly, like, puts you just a step ahead of everyone. Like, there's no way that you're going to be seeing an MKB anytime soon from the Wind Ranger, and adding the mischance from the Radiance combined with the evasion of the Butterfly, this first on top of that, the effective HP of Spectre is unreal.
Oh, and Moon Meander came back out again outside of the base. I didn't think he was going to. And Cuckoo takes full advantage. So Abaddon gone for another 40 seconds. The tier 2 tower going down the bottom lane. TNC with a dominant lead in this game is now up to almost that 6,000 gold mark and 15,000 experience.
And it feels like they're just scrambling to try to get something out of nothing. Like, I mean, right now the Naga desperate for an Octarine core so she can push out more actively. The Abaddon desperate for this Lotus Orb so he can purge the silence and have one way of breaking through this Silver Edge silence combo that has done him in like 3 times at this point. And it just feels like they desperately need one really good fight to get them back in this game, and it's just not happening.
And finding a silencer here would be huge, but the Haunt comes out. They have caught onto Resolution and Misery over to the side here, but the Song of the Siren is going to keep them alive for the moment, at least. The only problem, Resolution, you need to be careful here, does not want to end up sticking around too much longer here. He's going to TP away, so they live through that Haunt. Much needed. If you get a pick off there, it's high ground.
Yep, for sure. So, I mean, TNC, I mean, they already feel like they're in a winning position in this game, but obviously they have to find the opening first and foremost. I think one big way that's going to happen is Cuckoo about to finish up this Scythe of Vice, very close to it, but instead shifts towards an MKB, says, I've had enough of your wind run action, I'm not going to worry about a Dispel, I'm just going to punch right through it, is the bottom line. And obviously that's going to allow him to really just focus fire on either the Abaddon or the Wind Ranger, and find a lot of confidence in terms of just getting the raw damage out. However, this also means he's extremely squishy. I mean, this guy has 1,800 HP. He's got almost full damage items. It's got to be like the Dazzle focusing the grave on him from now on.
Yeah. And I think, though, that, like, having all of those different sources, you look at a hero like Spectre, too, it's not as if they're going to be able to bring down the Spectre incredibly easily. You just got that level 20 strength talent. And, you know, if you want to, coming up pretty soon is going to be the level 25, which is another 400 health. This is a very hard to bring down Raven, so you have the luxury of being able to grave up that silencer. And also no longer going to be mischancing through the Radiance either.
Yeah, this game really came down to what team could potentially be on the upper hand getting in mid to late game stage. And while it looked for the longest of times to be the Thunderbirds, they clearly are very far behind at this point. Almost every hero is lacking one key item, whereas TNC are just thriving. And even finding the opening here on Wind Ranger down bottom. I mean, just these gank trains are going to keep rolling. The map control is in full force here, and nowhere is safe for the Thunderbirds.
And more so than that, too, this is without having to use Haunt now that you're finding these pickoffs consistently. So you don't even need your most farmed hero. And guess what? Cuckoo is about to walk in. You know, right now, T-Birds might be thinking there's a fish in the barrel, but they're going to become the fish in just a second. Resolution getting gone on. They're hanging out for the moment, trying to TP out and away from this one. But Misery, he is going to be the one to fall. It looks like the rest of Thunderbirds will get out. But now, it might be time to think about going a little bit further.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much stopping you. We do see the Wind Ranger actually, while dead, buying out for the Aghanim Scepter. Really wants that focus fire to do what it needs to do, but I feel he's got other issues. I mean, he's trying to like focus on a hero like Spectre, who has all this evasion. He's getting silenced like crazy, doesn't have a BKB. Like, the Aghanims is great. It's still like one of the most important items towards Wind Ranger's core item build, but I guess he's got to get the focus out on the silencer to really make it worthwhile.
I like that too. Naga Siren denying the rune, realizing that there could be a hero near him. And all semblance of map control is gone. You look at this. The plus side that you do still have for Thunderbirds is that high ground has not been broken, and it's a Naga Siren. But every time they leave their base, they're going to be scouted out by these wards. So T-Birds need to pull something together here. They need to pull something together quick if you're looking at this TNC lineup, is it just like jump Reor, find the kill before Grave can get off, or is it always about finding that Cuckoo silencer?
Yeah, I almost even don't think you have enough time to kill the Dazzle and then kill the Silencer. I almost think that you have to try to get lucky and just try to kill the Silencer before there's any response at all. Hopefully, like a Static Storm could clip the Dazzle. Even just the duration of a Boundless Strike might be enough time if you get the right initiation. So they're going to start it off. The Silencer is in this, so they can go for the combo with the Static Storm.
All right, and no Haunt either for 10 more seconds, so they're going to be able to burst down both of them. And the question is, TNC, do they play patiently and not try and re-engage into this? I think that they will, and it's a good decision, likewise, to make it happen. So great pick off there.
Yeah, it's a dream scenario to have both those two together, because obviously with the Silencer, if he's not caught in the song, he can just global to kind of mess up the timing of that setup with Static Kinetic. And here, like, obviously catching the Dazzle as well means that they don't even have to worry about a Shallow Grave prolonging that. They just get it for free. Now there is Pinks coming out. They do see Sam H under the Sentry Ward, and it is going to be a fight.
Haunt comes out though, Soxka already dead. Now they turn on to Misery, and this is where Raven is going to make his money. The sleep is down. Moon Meander, can he do anything to save his buddies? I don't think so. Tim's is going to end up dropping there. They pop the ulti for Moon Meander. Resolution, out of mana, out of time, soon to be dead. Samich does die for it, but can they find anything else here? The only one left alive right now is Raven. 4 heroes have gone down for TNC. They're buying back. They realize this is not the fight that they wanted to take in the leads pit. Glimpse back in to pull him in. Samich is not going to be able to do anything to save the day, nor is Tim's, because that is a buyback used and nothing gone from it. So a great team fight right there for Thunderbirds.
Yeah, very surprised that TNC really decided to follow up on that, considering how much they'd already lost moments before. They still try to see an opening. They're like, okay, well, we can get this kill, maybe this one, and yeah, they get 2, but they lose so much more. It just, I think one of the biggest aspects was on the side there, flanking. Wee gets a very nice shackle onto the Slaughter, and while he might be tanky, he's not tanky enough to survive a full duration shackle, and the Aghanim's Maelstrom win rate is pounding away at him. So it is going to be TNC losing out big time on that one, but it kind of only resets things in terms of like the net worth overall. And I actually have to say that as long as TNC can shake that loss off mentally, that they're still fully in this game. That being said, there's going to be the Roshan being focus fired down, and without a Spectre available, it doesn't seem like there's any way to stop it.
And I think it's a really good decision there by TNC to not buy back and try and go for a contest there, because if you buy back, you don't have Haunt, you lose your Spectre again, that's almost game at that point. But now you save that extra little bit, you can get Spectre into the next item, which is going to be the Heart, and then things start to look a little bit better, I think, for TNC again. And it is still an incredibly hard to fight against lineup. Everything that TNC has right here, it allows them to fight Thunderbirds.
Yeah, so we'll have to see exactly how TNC can kind of get back to where they just were. I mean, we have a gem on both sides, so either team that's bringing the heroes to the front lines is going to be able to get full control of like the ward situation. The issue is, of course, like you just pop back in your Slaughter, he gets picked off, and you're in a pretty sore spot. I feel like they have to kind of group up together as pairs and make sure that Cuckoo and Reor are in very relevant positions if a fight does end up breaking out.
Well, again, the way that you make this happen is by Sam H. The problem is every damn person's in the area, and Monkey King does have a gem. So Sam H. forced to blink away, realizing that there was high chance that he get killed off there. But yeah. 5 men working together for Team Thunderbirds now.
Yeah, there's no way for them to walk in and body check anything, and this is just going to cost them lives quickly. But Sam H. does get his distance, should Carapace here right when he gets caught by the Kinetic, but still caught inside the combo from Weehaw, and now they just have to run. They can try to fight near the shrine as best they can. Global and Haunt needs to come out at the exact same time as the BKB expires.
There it is. They go in for it. Crush now onto 2, but there is going to be the silence coming in from Resolution. They're able to take down 1. Cuckoo still standing tall here in his BKB. The Global does finally come, and well, the Kinetic Field keep the Cuckoo stuck in it. The Grave is going to come out though, so he can turn a man fight to the best of his abilities. Raven thinking about jumping back into this one. Moon Meander still staying alive, but the team fight has gone terribly for TNC. Thunderbirds with the answers over and over again are taking back control of this game, one team fight at a time.
Yeah, they are in a commanding position now. They should be able to actually just racks off of this without a haunt, without a Slardar. Like, there's really nothing to be afraid of here. Even if the Sun survives back, which of course he will, we'll have to see the next move here. But they can definitely keep chipping if they feel confident. Still though, no risk at this point. The late game stage, every move you make becomes that much more impactful because it comes with that much greater risk of the big death. But they'll reset the wave. They don't have to worry about back row protection, so they will keep the siege alive.
So they move forward. Raven just trying to keep them back the best of their abilities. Every time they catch them here, Moon Meander, is his ulti still up? It is still there. Managed to trigger it. Resolution, gonna pop the Song of the Siren, and after the tier 3 goes down, they all decide to back out. Easy peasy for Thunderbirds.
Yep. So this is gonna be the turning point of the game one way or another, I think. I mean, we just saw both teams have the full potential to take these fights if they do so on the right terms. I really like what Thunderbirds were able to accomplish in the bottom. Like the first half of the fight, they were able to just pick up one hero, and then they kind of looked for the next based on the fact that there was still the BKB rolling. But as soon as the BKB ended, we got to see what TNC could do to kind of bounce back and fight throughout it. The issue was, because you're still fighting into Aegis and Song, the reset tools are there, and it's going to be Thunderbirds that have the last laugh. So SamH, playing with fire, ends up getting burned, but the team just can't really keep fighting into that Roshan Aegis. So I think that kind of signifies the importance of it, that Aegis and Cheese are going to be on this next Roshan, and we could see a deciding fight after the next Roshan of 4 minutes.
And it's sort of strange to me because it's felt like Raven has played very much back as if he needs to not be the one initiated on, but he is still so tanky right now. And well, they actually have run into Resolution, who does have the Song of the Siren popped, and now they call Cuckoo and Dazzle. Oh, this is going to be awful again for TNC. They popped the BKB, but Rio are already in trouble. It's going to go down. They get the Global Silence. That's a nice way to turn this back around. Soxka in some trouble. Misery's popped his BKB, trying to man up against Raven. They've got him controlled. Raven in some trouble. The crush onto 3, though. Tim's doing his best to keep his team alive. SamH finds the Ravage and Pale through it as well. And now Resolution in a hell of a lot of trouble. They're going to be able to bring him down in just a second. 4 heroes go down. Raven with a triple kill, and it looked bad for only an instant before that BKB came out.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the BKB from the silencer means that it doesn't matter if he gets caught in that. Without a BKB, he's just straight up dead. No grave to save him, but in that case, he's actually able to fight it out, just man mode, and the Spectre and the other 3, honestly, are just able to make that fight work. Amazing stuns coming out from the Slaughter and the Nyx. They all clump up in one little space. The Thunderbirds, close quarters, trying to finish off a single target, and they get punished heavily by these AoE stuns. Now, TNC take everything outside the base, and even with this really nifty power shot, I just don't see how they're going to be able to hold, and when you see it jump like this.
Oh man, I mean, it's a 2-second cooldown for power shot, which is cute and all, weehaw, but I don't. Is he gonna? What? Okay, all right. He is. You got to be careful here, buddy. SamH, you're getting sniped at. Look at this ability. How is this thing a thing?
Well, the mana is obviously still limiting. It's 120 per shot, but it is going off here. Level 25, a talented Wind Ranger.
What is that ability? All right, I think that this is the new build now. You just get like Bloodstone Wind Ranger and just shoot everybody to death.
Could be something. I don't know. At the end of the day, it is still like, it's just 420 magical damage per fully charged shot, reduced every time it hits a target. So as long as you have enough stuff in the way, it doesn't really hurt too much. But I mean, it's difficult to sustain against it, and it definitely makes you feel like you're fighting up against a Tinker.
Well, and that paired together with the Naga Siren, can the high ground defense of T-Birds be any more frightening? I don't think so. It definitely feels like TNC are just going to have to win a fight. The slow siege of a tower is unlikely to work against the Thunderbirds lineup.
Yeah, it seems like they need to pick off at least one of those 2 heroes. Obviously, the Naga Siren is the preferable one, but I mean, getting the Wind Ranger could definitely elude them to the high ground as well. I feel like this game really rests on just getting a key kill on one of the top 2 core heroes. Like, all 4 of them are so important to every fight. The Silencer, the Spectre, the Wind Ranger, and the Naga. Every one of them has such a high impact, and between all of those, it's actually only Radiant that have the buybacks. Actually, Spectre just got hers, so she's all right, but...
Oh, Moon. Oh, no. They have the silent, or they immediately pop that ulti, and he did just get his Aghanims as well. But now with that ulti wearing off, Abaddon, borrowed time, no longer there. They're thinking about going for another catch. There's going to be the catch on to Cuckoo. Gets Glimmer Cape staying alive. Great combination. He gets the BKB out. Now Sox going to be controlled as well. There's nobody really to hit on here. They pop the Haunt, turning to fight. Rior barely staying alive. Ends up graving himself now as well. Raven turning to go on to Soxka. They get the global silence finally popped here in Resolution, taking down Rior at the end. But is Misery going to end up falling because of it? He ends up going down. A double kill for Raven now. The buyback from Weehaw. He wants to get into this fight, but he has to be so careful. Again, that Diffusal Blade just wrecks his day.
And they just ran it down. They just waited for the wind run to expire, and then Silencer and Slaughter were just able to beat him down as they kept the chase alive. So it just, now Weehaw without buyback is in a really sore spot. If he could have found a shackle there, it could have been perfectly fine to buy back that way, but he hit on the Lincolns and they lose 2 kills. Suddenly, now you're just in a position where if the Wind Ranger drops, you lose the game. And that's a very scary place to be here 50 minutes in.
Well, and, you know, they've taken that one lane of Barracks, so it's time to think about Shrines and Roshan, which does obviously give them a pretty huge advantage as far as map movement. Likewise, Thunderbirds, they did take down the tier 3, but they weren't able to secure the other shrine. So pretty well played so far. We talk all about the need for an initiation and how well that's going to end up making the difference. In spite of that, with these new items that are coming up, are you feeling like TNC might still have a little bit of an edge?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say so, right? I mean, the Spectre is still so farmed, pretty much having nearly everything she'd want at this point in time, looking for the Refresher as her luxury item for her 7th item slot. Like, I mean, that's all those words together, with Spectre being the context, it's a very scary thing. She's very tanky, she's able to do quite a bit, and I just don't feel like the Wind Ranger in particular is in a position well enough to deal with it. It always feels like Weehaw's 1 item behind. He's now down to 17,000 net worth, while all the other cores are up 23,000 and above, and it feels like he needs a Silver Edge, an MKB, and just all hope and a prayer at this point. It just feels like he is very underfarmed. The Naga Siren, she's 6 slotted as well, but she's just not able to do as much as the Spectre is under those circumstances.
And like Moon has this really nice Aghanim Scepter, which can be a big difference maker in a team fight, absorbing all of that damage. But the problem that we keep on seeing is whether or not he gets it off, or if it goes off in a time when it's best for his whole team. In the meantime, Sam H as well as Cuckoo, they spot out Moon. There's the Impale. He needs to pop his ulti right the hell now. They do end up getting it off. And Naga Siren Sleep used for that one. So a couple of ultis used on the side of Thunderbirds.
Yeah, it's just a really important kill to find, but in the end, the response is there, and the cooldown on the Song of the Siren is very, very small now with the Octarine core. You're looking at it being back up in just 25 seconds, but that might be 25 seconds long enough to actually poke at Roshan. Right now they're flanking though. They're looking at the Monkey King in the trees. He pops the BKB. He'll get out. Can they just go for Roche? Like, if they could just get into the pit right now, it would be extremely valuable. They got to know what's up, but instead Abba, whose ulti is back off cooldown, is on the front line and is making sure that they don't get it easy.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, they do realize, of course, that it is up now. T-Birds in a position to come and contest. They actually jump forward with Tim's, find the crush onto 2, and as we said, the BKB is down for Misery. Moon Meander does still have his ulti up, thinking about going for it. Poison Touch as well is already out, but now Misery in more trouble. Do they end up committing the haunt for this one? The Song of the Siren comes out, and still they find that kill. Thinking about this now, round 2, ding, 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 let's go for it. The chase forward, Resolution maybe gonna get caught out. No, it doesn't matter though. They got
buyback on Moon.
He's dead for 90 seconds. T-Birds in a ton of trouble. Resolution now found out of mana, soon to be out of time and out of life. Closed down as well. The Diffusal Blade is there. TNC potentially might have found the answer here.
They have. I mean, you'll buy back on the Naga Siren, and we'll have to see a reset. Raven just wants to get out and get his Heart of Tarrasque health back, but it's actually going to be him glimpsed into a really bad spot, and they bail. Where's the Dazzle? Where's the Grave? They just try to get out, cut every loss they have, I think at least the Dazzle sticking around to Grave and Glimmer him and see what could happen there would have been reasonable, but they just, he even has a -30 respawn time talent. I think Rio definitely should have stuck around, but at the end of the day, the Spectre is sacrificed and they won't be able to pivot off of the Abaddon.
TPing into her illusions as well. There was the blink away. Good heads up play there by Tims. A little bit of help from the Nyx Assassin scouted out that that's indeed movement that they were making. So TNC thankfully don't lose anything else for themselves here, but now you look at the past couple minutes and the way that Thunderbirds have brought this back into it, it's feeling like it's definitely winnable at this point. It's just going to come down to how these initiations work out, if they can possibly force a buyback from the Spectre to defend Roshan.
Yeah, well, they will certainly try. Right now, we're going to see a failed crush again, and a big shackle onto Cuckoo. He's going to get graved up, but his moments are numbered.
Stun. Weehaw going to drop. Cuckoo is going to die there. Now the buyback comes from Spectre, controlling the resolution. Solo, barely staying alive, is going to die. The BKB from Tims. It lasted long enough to find that kill. Soxka will escape, but oh my goodness, oh my gracious. I think that they could have done it now. 100 seconds, no Wind Ranger, no Naga Siren. It is time to party, and they found Moon as well. Oh, this guy, he has been playing his heart out this game, but a rough one indeed, and now going to be taken down for a last time, potentially. That ulti lasts a while, but I don't think it's long enough. And 90 seconds with none of him. TNC taking this, potentially game number 2 to tie it up.
Incredible. I just can't believe that it ends this way, but TNC really have pulled through in the end. They got the upper hand in the final fight. Back and forth, neither team was willing to concede. Aegis and Cheese, the third Roshan, and now it's going to be the sword that Thunderbirds die on, as they just lose way too much in that last exchange. And TNC, they're just able to find the targets, find the kills that they need to wrap this one up and take us to decisive game 3.
Yeah, and I'm so impressed again because there's been so many instances as we do see Soxa about to die and TNC finishing this one off finally. The buyback is there from Disruptor, but GG is called. There were so many instances where TNC made problems last game that Thunderbirds capitalized, and Thunderbirds game number